Hi guys, how's it going? My name's Alex, and for those of you that don't subscribe to my channel, this isn't really the normal sort of video I do. However, this particular incident just really caught my attention, and it made me a little angry actually to that it's automatically assumed that this is just racism straight off the bat, and this guy's been accused of, you know, his headline saying racist, tube, passenger, everything else. So I thought I'd make a video and get some of my points across and my thoughts about it, and then see what you guys think. Sorry if there's any background noise, but the weather outside is crazy today, and we're just huddled up in the van, keeping out of the storm. So here's the scenario. There's a guy dressed up as Jules from Pulp Fiction, i.e. Samuel L. Jackson.
Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
He's riding the tube in London, and then he gets called a racist. So the reasoning behind this, or the justification for calling this guy a racist, was that he had painted his face black. Now, at first I thought, well, yeah, so what? He's painted his face black to fit in with the character that he's dressed up as. But then, to be fair, I was educated by some people posting some links on Facebook. That, you know, blackface is an actual thing stemming back to the minstrel shows, which started off in the 1820s. The minstrel shows were a racist show of white people painting their faces black, and even they forced black people to do it as well. And these shows were, you know, dehumanizing. They were mocking the African Americans, and, you know, they're not a good thing. They are racist. But here's the thing: he wasn't dressed as a minstrel. He was dressed as Jules from Pulp Fiction, a cool black dude.
Nobody's gonna hurt anybody. We're all gonna be like three little Fonzies here. And what's Fonzie like? Come on, Yolanda, what's Fonzie like?
Cool.
What?
Cool.
Correctamundo. And that's what we're gonna be. We're gonna be cool.
So then my mind was kind of switched again. I thought, well, he's not being racist, and the guy's intention is definitely not to be racist. So, but that then brings us to the point of, well, whether it's your intention or not to offend somebody, it's the offendee's decision to be offended or not, right? Well, yeah, but I think there has to be scope for reason in that. I mean, people can't just go around saying, well, I'm offended by that, I'm offended by that, and willy-nilly. So the question there is it reasonable? And I don't, to be fair, I don't think I'm really qualified to answer that question, because, you know, I'm not a black guy, I'm a white guy, so I'm going to have a different perspective on this. But this is my perspective on it, and I don't think it is reasonable, purely for the fact that it's clear that this guy wasn't dressing as a minstrel. He wasn't imitating that racist show, or the racist shows that used to exist. He was dressing as a character, exactly the same as Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. You know, he acted as a black guy in that film, and they darkened his face, not to be racist, so he fit the role.
There ain't no goddamn takes. Ain't no goddamn motion picture.
You sure? Oh yeah. Yeah? For certain, mate. Why are you still in character?
So then I saw a comment that somebody put and said, why didn't he dress as Jules from Pulp Fiction, but then not paint his face black? Well, being black is part of his character. It's an attribute of his character. It's who he is. So, I mean, in my opinion, for him not paint his face black and to ignore the race of that character, to me seems more racist. I mean, if you were to ignore something like that, then it kind of says, well, that's a bad thing. And for you to say that it's a bad thing, well, then that's a racist thought, right? So I commented on one of these posts anyway, and I said, well, what about White Chicks, the movie White Chicks, where, you know, two black guys dress up as two white girls? I mean, is it sexist and racist to white people then?
What's up, money? You got a problem? What you looking at my ass for? Nah, yo, hold my poodle. Hold my poodle. Hey, yo, what's up? Y'all got a problem? Y'all want some of this? You want some of this, punk? What? What, boy? What? I take the both of you.
And one of my friend's responses was, no, because whites haven't been subject to slavery in the same way that black people have. And yeah, fair enough. but neither was Jules from Pulp Fiction. This guy wasn't dressing up as a race, he was dressing up as a character, and it just so happens that that character was of a different race to what he is. And he just did his best job to imitate that character. And that kind of brings me on to an example, and it might not be the best example, but it's the easiest way I can think of explaining my logic on this. Because there seems to be a struggle of separating the blackface as an act of imitating a racist show of the 19th century and painting your face black to fit a character. They're two different things, and there's a struggle to separate that. So anyway, here's my possibly not so great explanation of how I'm trying to understand it. If you think of the Irish potato famine, for instance, if you were in Ireland and you went into a restaurant and you ordered, a plate full of just potatoes, I want 20 potatoes please, then it's clear that you're trying to cause offence and you're being offensive. But if you went and ordered a roast dinner and had a potato with it, well, that's perfectly normal and acceptable. The potatoes on their own are an offensive act, but then the potato in the meal on its own is not offensive. The same way as painting your face black on its own and imitating a racist figure from the past is racist. But to use a black face as part of something else, I don't believe is racist, and I know people disagree with that, but that's my view on it. And I'd like to hear yours and see. Maybe I'm missing something here. I'm being completely open. That's how I feel, and I just think maybe I need more information on it. The one thing I did think about this was the guy's costume choice. It's a strange costume choice, right? But then looking into it, Halloween these days, people wear all sorts of things. They just wear what they want, basically. Also, very recently, there was a 9-year-old girl named Madison who is a big Liverpool fan, and Mo Salah is a favourite footballer. He's actually her idol. She loves him, right? So she wanted to dress up as him for Halloween, and she asked her mum, make me look like Mo Salah, blah blah blah. And she gave her a fake tan, and then now there's accusations that her mum is racist for doing that. I mean, come on. It's just no way that is a racist act. All that's going on in that situation is admiration. That girl admires this guy and wants to look as much like him for Halloween, and it's her chance to dress up as her idol. It's not racism, it's admiration. I think in general, and this is not just about racism, but in general, the whole population of the world is getting far too sensitive for things. We're getting easily offended by things that just not only meant to be offensive, they're just actually not offensive. If you look at them properly, objectively, and without bias, then they're not offensive. And the people who are getting offended by them are creating this offence. I mean, just as I've been making this video, I got a notification on my phone from Reddit that Apu's been axed from The Simpsons. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I'm going to make a mighty old assumption that it's something to do with crazy political correctness. The world's gone mad.
Jury duty. Oh, today I am truly an American citizen.
So let's all just chill out a little bit. Love each other, respect one another. Stop looking for opportunities to say things to people like they're racist. Stop looking for an opportunity to be offended, and maybe look at things a little bit more positively. I believe all humans are equal, apart from extreme cases, of course, but we're all equal, and that means that to dress up as another human being, it's impossible to be offended by that, because it's just the same thing as you, as long as that's not, that character or person doesn't have any real immoral characteristics like Hitler or along them lines. I mean, for instance, with this guy on the train, why can't people just look at him and go, oh, he's dressing up as Jules? It's automatically straight away, oh, he's racist. Looking at the negative when there's a positive side to it, Anyway, I hope this video comes across in the right way. I just kind of want to open up a bit of a conversation here about it, and hope that we can be sensible about it. Thank you for listening to me and my points, and I look forward to hearing what you got to say on the next one.